It's
All
always
right.
dark.
Oh, it says it's setting up. That's okay. I was just outside, so I feel like my hair's every way. But anyway, I guess we're live, and I'm just sitting here talking about my hair, everybody. Um, but yeah, so welcome to episode 8 of season 2 of Living in the Texas Hill Country. And this is a very timely discussion because Carly was saying she's been seeing some baby deers out and about.
Yes. And I live kind of in a smaller neighborhood. It's, subdivision type neighborhood. And we have deer coming in and out there constantly. And um there's already been some fawns around and everybody's always like, what do I do with them? And it's starting already. So
Yeah.
like you said, very timely. So I'm glad that we're doing this today.
Yes. So we'll welcome our guests. So Lacey comes to us from Wildlife Rescue and Rehabilitation. I actually had her and one of her um I'm blanking. Co
Co-workers.
Co-workers. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a Tuesday. It's not even a Monday. It's a Tuesday. One of your co-workers on to talk about what people should do with, like, if you find a baby bird, because it's very common. But it's one of those things where it's like, well, I mean, it's baby season here in Texas. It is in full swing. I've already seen a bunch of fledglings out and about, just hot mess express little birds out and about. So I was like, you know what? Let's talk about some baby animals in general, because sometimes they kind of get us into trouble. But I guess before we dive into that, I guess, Lacey, like I said, you are with Wildlife Rescue and Rehabilitation. So do you want to just give us a little bit of like a rundown of what you do with your organization, what your job sort of entails?
Sounds good. So Wildlife Rescue and Rehabilitation, we are at 49 years. Next year will be 50 years of being here.
Awesome.
And we are those kind of people who, a lot of us, like animals more than people in some cases. And so we will take in any injured, orphaned, ill wildlife that needs our help. And the key is knowing which ones need help and which ones don't. We have a beautiful facility. It's 212 acres right in the middle of Candelia, which sometimes people think might be far away, but it is perfect for the animals. They get all that space and quiet and just that beautiful Texas Hill Country.
I was gonna say, and I think is the Candelia location, I'll say, like, quote unquote newer, right?
So
Or
we've
did
been
y'all
there
get
for quite
another
a few years
location?
now. No,
Okay.
we did have some locations in San Antonio. We did end up closing them on purpose. We looked at the numbers of the animals, and the survival rate when they came directly to Candelia is so much higher. And it's because that's where our vet hospital is. We have 2 full-time vets, some vet techs, many caretakers, and all of these staff members ready and waiting to help these animals. And they're in a place where they have space and room and peace to grow and heal.
And y'all like cover like pretty much anything that's got, I guess, fur, pretty well fur and feathers. Do y'all get like scaly friends of the fish or
Absolutely.
reptile variety every now and again?
Any wildlife. So maybe not companion animals like dogs or
Right.
cats, but any animals. In fact, like about a year and a half ago, somebody brought us a deceased mother scorpion, and she had 13 little scorpions on her back, and they don't harden their exoskeleton until they're a few weeks old. So they were completely helpless out there. So yes, we rehabilitated some baby scorpions as well.
Oh my gosh.
That one would probably not my cup of tea personally.
Oh, they were adorable.
I mean, if you look at them under a microscope, they're cute because it was a native. I'm guessing it was a native scorpion that they
Yes,
found. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
the bark scorpion.
I was gonna say, what are some of your other I'll say maybe some of your favorites or your like rescues of note, whether they be like
Oh,
really weird or out of the box. I'm curious.
well, people, some that aren't very out of the ordinary that people don't realize are actually native here are the ringtail cats. They're cousins of raccoons, but they have these striped tails. People think they might be lemurs. They're extremely quiet and very cautious of humans, so people don't notice, but we do get them quite often. Or the porcupines, people don't realize we have porcupines in Texas, and they're all over the place.
I think ringtails, I am a bit jealous. I think I've only ever seen one, maybe two ringtails in my life because they're so secretive.
Mhm.
They are just, and they're the cute. I'm sorry, they're the cutest little things ever. Like
That's a common theme. Almost every wild animal is the cutest thing. I personally absolutely adore the animals who don't get as much love. I think the black vultures are the most romantic animals on the planet. I think that snakes are the most misunderstood animals ever. They're least amount of scary, in my opinion, than most animals. They only have one thing that can hurt you, and most of the time they're desperate to not hurt you.
this is very true. So yeah, you kind of like to go for the underdogs. Yeah, or
Yes.
some of your favorites. So I
Yes.
guess so we kind of talked about just some of the uncommon ones that come in, but what are some like common animal species that y'all get into the rescue, especially like this time of year?
Oh yes. So baby season is seasonal, and there is a definitive rhythm to the animals and when they normally have their babies. So it starts in like February, and we'll get all the eastern fox squirrels, and then it starts with all the opossums. The opossums are reign supreme for quite a while. They stay pretty steady most of the year. And then we'll get in the baby birds, all the songbirds, and then the larger raptors will start appearing as well, the marsh birds, the shorebirds, all the kinds of animals that'll need our help. And then we start getting into the mammals, more mammals. This will be the raccoons, the skunks. Baby skunks are so adorable. They do the little stompy dance. They can't even spray.
I love like I think I had y'all's webpage open, uh, and my support staff came in and she saw the picture and she's like, oh, and I was like, "Oh, but it's the cutest, like, I'm sorry, that is the absolute cutest thing. I think baby possums are really cute too.
Yeah.
Till they till they open their mouth and then they're not quite as cute
Opossums
for a
are
lot of
very
people.
cute. Most of the time, opossums don't bite. They like to try to make you believe that they will, and they're such terrible actors that their next thing to do is to pretend to be dead. So it tells you how their first instinct isn't to bite; it's to pretend that they could bite, then
Yeah.
to pretend to die, and
And
then maybe if you're still at that point.
which I mean, I would argue sometimes the plain dead, I mean, obviously, if they do it, it's for a reason, but I sometimes argue it's maybe not the best
Hmm.
tact,
When
depending
they're
upon
afraid of a car coming towards them, and playing dead is probably the wrong way to go
choice.
about this.
Wrong card to play, but
There's
you know,
many animals who also play dead. We also have eastern hognose snakes in this
yes.
area, and they
Oh, those
also
are
are absolute
cute.
drama queens and will pretend to be dead. But they will also pretend to be a rattlesnake at the same time, and sometimes that really messes up their act.
Like,
Oh,
rattle.
they're
Nope,
like,
just kidding, done.
yeah, the animal's like,
I'm
wait, are
both
you?
dead and a rattlesnake at the same time. I'll also flatten my neck out to look like a cobra. Pick
Which is
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
not
you're like, we're gonna throw all the cards
all
at
the
you
things.
and hope that one of them sticks because I just don't know what to do right now.
Yes,
Um,
and you notice that none of those were to bite.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
their tactic isn't fight, it's not flight, it's panic.
I can relate.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So back
Okay.
to the babies, though, we'll get a lot of the mammals, the skunks, the raccoons, the opossums, the foxes, the coyote kits, or fox kits and the coyote pups will start arriving at that point too. And then we go into all of the baby deer season. Baby deer will reign supreme all throughout summer. And then we get one final follow-up with another boost of eastern fox squirrels, and then we're usually done for most of the year. There's still a few animals who have babies anytime they please, but for the most part, that's the season right there.
Gotcha. So would you say baby season's probably your, I mean, you're busy all year round,
Oh
but
yes.
maybe a little extra busy during baby season because people can't help when they see a baby. They're like, must
Must
help,
have.
Save it.
must
Yes,
help.
and most of these animals, mom is doing something in particular to protect her babies, and we humans just don't understand her thought process. For example, fawns right now, mom will usually take a baby to a place that she feels is a safe place because the baby has spots, so she's broken up a little bit. She's harder to see. She's kind of a coppery color, and some carnivores can't see the color orange as well as other colors. She will put them in a place where there's all kinds of human scents because if a carnivore like a coyote or a bobcat was coming to get this fawn, the only predators for those animals are the humans. So sometimes she will look around and try to find the best place with some very confusing scents to keep away those other animals. And the fawn has a wonderful ability to not smell like a deer at that point. She doesn't smell like prey. So she has a much better shot of making it completely on her own. And then mom will come pick up her baby in the middle of the night, feed her, love her, and then drop her back off at the nearest daycare in the morning as well.
Yep. And I think that's what's hard is we as people tend to our big fancy word anthropomorphize where we put our it's like we would never leave our baby alone till they're like a teenager, and even then we still maybe not do that. So it's like it's sometimes hard for us to be like, no, baby's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mom is, as you said, dropped him or her off at daycare, and she has gone to get herself a nice deserved snack because feeding baby takes a lot of energy. So
Yes, she goes with her whole herd and they stay together for safety, but she can run much faster than her baby could. So that's why baby can't stay with her during that time period as well. So she and her herd will be eating as much as they possibly can because they all have babies to get to after it starts getting dark. And she'll have enough milk and she'll be able to spend that quality time with her child at night.
So would you say pretty much the at least for deer anyway, the common reason a lot of people bring in the babies in particular is because the reason of they either are or people think those animals have been abandoned by mom.
Correct. Yeah, and that is, we humans, our first instinct is to feed and water everything we see, including humans. I mean, if I came to your home, what would you say when I walk in the door?
You're like, thanks for coming over. Can I get you a nice cold drink? Can I get you a snack? Do you need anything?
Yes, and that baby, her stomach is completely full of mom's milk. She's got enough food and hydration to last her a full day, even in the Texas sun. So she's fine. She doesn't need anything at this time period. So the ways you do know when she does need help is her attitude a lot of times. If she's doing well, she should follow the sun. So she'll go to a new shadow if it's hot and lay down the shade. She'll take little naps here and there. She'll be holding herself in a specific position so that it looks like there is some effort being in there to hold herself in there. If she is just flopped on the ground and one leg is this way and one leg is that way, and you're looking at her and you're like, that does not look comfortable. She might be out of energy at that point. She might have been missing her mom for a few days, and that might be a clue. One of the best things about our organization, one of the reasons why I love this place so much, is we have a hotline. So anytime you're not sure, you can always give us a call and we can talk you through all the steps to make sure that we are pretty sure that this baby actually needs help instead of not.
So when you say like a posture, like a lot of times is the deer will kind of be like they're little like deer, a little deer bean or like a deer burrito. They got everything like nice and tucked up in there,
Yes.
and they just look like a nice cozy little cat,
Yeah,
basically.
she'll either be sternly and she'll be tucking her little legs underneath her. She might be curled almost into a ball on her side, almost like a cinnamon roll.
Oh,
She might look in different positions, but all of these are deliberate positions that she's put herself into. One of the other things that you can tell that she might need help is if she is screaming. Now, any baby, even a human baby, if a stranger walks up to them and tries to pick them up, they will cry. But as if she shouldn't be crying at all normally, because she's trying to stay nice and quiet so she's not attracting any attention. So if you hear a baby screaming and following you or something like that, then she may actually need some help at that point. She might be extremely hungry by that point. But for the most part, as long as she is good and quiet and holding herself exactly where her mother told her to stay, that's all we have to do is just give her that time. You've already done the best thing you can is allowing her to stay on the property and adding all of your human sense, like your car and all the other garbage outside and noises that happen with a human. Those are all camouflaging her. And that's why mom has chosen to trust you by leaving her baby there.
well, and it's like, yeah, if you leave the deer alone, if you feed the deer, whatever, mom, like you said, mom feels safe enough that your babysitter, it's just your babysitter from a long way away.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, no touching. Just your yard is the babysitter,
And
basically.
there's not a lot we humans, because we have the instinct to feed, there's not a lot that we could commercially buy that is good for a fawn. There are very specific formulas, they're extremely expensive, that are actually good for these fawns. So, I mean, if she ever does need to be fed, I'd much prefer you to bring her into us to do that and give her the right formula. I've seen some very strange things that people have given, and Google is not your friend. I
What are
promise
you
you.
talking about,
Most of
Lacey?
them are incorrect.
The internet never lies. The internet is always
Always
correct about
correct.
everything, especially with AI nowadays.
Oh, yes.
Everything 100%
I
truth.
played around with ChatGPT when it first came out, and they were telling me all kinds of incorrect things to feed each animal. And oh, goodness.
It's great. So, and this is one I've heard, and I don't know, this may be in extreme cases. I've heard that if one of the signs is like if the ears are like kind of are curling at the tips,
Yes,
too.
they
that
do
is a
curl outward
sign,
of
yes, that
dehydration.
that
Yes, that is
baby is
one
in
sign.
trouble. Yeah.
It is one of the signs. There are several signs. They can also be dehydrated without their ear curls. They could
Mhm.
also be, there's a few other things. Some other things you could look for are the presence of a lot of insects. If there are flies buzzing around this poor fawn, if there's a marching ants determinedly over her, there might be a hidden wound. She may have diarrhea, something like that you haven't seen. So, but for the most part, most baby deer do pretty well in with these wonderful instincts that their mother has, and the babies do as well. So we don't necessarily need to pick them up, but watching from afar and keeping a good eye out is always a perfect thing to do, to keep an eye on this baby, make sure that they stay nice and safe during that time period.
Gotcha. So it's one of those things where if you find a fawn, leave it be, keep an eye on it, but mom should be back. I mean, mom comes back, they're babies. They got to eat frequently. So she'll be back in
Yeah.
a couple of hours, check
It's
back in.
anywhere from about 12 to up to 16 hours that she'll spend away from her baby, and that is normal and perfectly fine. Not with our own human babies,
No.
but with a fawn, yes.
No.
That is perfectly normal.
Okay, so we've kind of hit on fawns quite heavily. Is there anything else you want people to know about if you find a fawn or in a scenario of do's or don'ts with fawns? And then we'll
Well,
move
the
on to
only
something
thing
else.
left with fawns is if they're in a very dangerous situation, such as if you find a fawn in the middle of the road, she shouldn't be there. It is okay to move her back to the side of the road, tuck her backward just a little bit. As long as she's still in the same area, mom should be able to find her when she comes back that night. She doesn't need to get hit by a car because she was confused and curious about what these car things are. And if you see her laying and there's some fire ants near her, if it's one or two fire ants, you can brush off the ants, move her to a little bit of a further area, and she'll be perfectly fine. If you see lots of bites on her, that's not good for her. She does need to come in at that point. But in all these cases, before bringing us a fawn, please give our hotline a call. We can go ahead and guide you through these steps. We can make sure she's in the correct area. There are certain areas where fawns shouldn't be taken from, and we just help them in a different way.
Gotcha. And pretty much at the end of the day, the deer mom is going to be the best mom.
Absolutely.
We do our best to substitute. Probably at the end of the day, you would agree that as much as you love the animals, you would prefer that y'all not have to
Oh,
do this
absolutely.
for the animals.
And also, white-tailed deer in particular have a condition where if they are too stressed out, they can simply die of that stress.
Yes.
And because of this, handling a fawn, you are risking that fawn's life every time you do
Yeah.
that. If she is so scared, because in general, this is a defense mechanism that if a predator had gotten a hold of this animal and if she's feeling that kind of pain, the stress hormones will race to her heart and give her a heart attack in layman's terms. And so in order to not do that to her when you are trying to help, she doesn't realize it, because right now we still have many humans who kill and eat deer. And so it is right of her to have that fear of humans, even though we are trying to help.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so hit on deer. What are some other, I'll say, critters that are some pretty common ones that y'all get in
Right
this
now, we
time of
have
year?
so many baby raccoons and skunks and some baby foxes right now. They're all appearing all over the place.
And
And these animals make dens and they stay with their babies most of the time. And so there's a lot of times where there might be situations where you had no idea that your attic was a nursery for baby raccoons. Because when they're really tiny, they're not making any noises, and mom sneaks in and out, feeds them, and takes off as quickly as she can. But when they get a little bit older, let's say toddler age, even our own human toddlers are making all kinds of noises and playing with their siblings and roughhousing and things like that. And that is when you hear something in your attic. Our humans today seem to think that the best thing to do is put a trap up there, which I can guarantee you that is the worst thing to do at this time of year. What you'll do is you'll most likely get mom, and she will think, oh goodness, somebody left me a snack. Thank God. I've been working so hard to feed my babies, and someone left me a snack. And then you'll catch her, and somebody will think it's a good idea to take her the old 10 miles out into the country and just drop her off, which is usually a death sentence. There's already another animal who has claimed that territory. She has now arrived and has no idea where food or water or shelter are. And now she has to fight for her right to stay in that territory. It's a terrible situation. And once you've, of course, dropped her off, as soon as you hear those babies, if you like another day later and those babies are hungry and crying for their mother, there's no turning back at that point. You've orphaned all these
You
babies.
can't call mom and be like, I'm so sorry. I forgot to bring your kids with you.
Yeah, can you pick up your children?
Can you come
No,
get them?
you don't know where you're at. Okay. So the best thing to do if you hear anybody in your attic at this time of year is to use some very gentle repel methods. These repel methods really help to make sure that she chooses that this is not a safe place anymore for babies. And she will take them one by one, just like a mother cat, in her mouth, and she'll take them to her alternate den site. She always has a backup place to take her babies to. She knows where it is. She knows it's safe. She knows where the food and water are, and everybody will stay together. And trust me, you don't want to call a pest control company who's going to come out there and they know mom does this. They're counting on you to not know that she does this. They're counting on you to pay them to come out multiple times to close off holes, and then oops, she was trapped inside. Of course she was inside. You know that. And so pest control companies, there are some wonderful ones, but most of them, they are paid to take these animals away, whether that's the right thing to do or not. So if you take a radio or a Bluetooth speaker and you put it up in that attic, just set it up on that top little ledge there. And then during the day, when mom's trying to get some sleep, because she's nocturnal, play something with loud human voices yelling. In general, there are certain sounds that are scary to them, and we are one of the major animals on this planet that are extremely scary to them. And when you hear a lion roar, there's something in the back of your mind that says, oh no, I'm not safe. It's the same with our human voices yelling at them. So if you put something on, let's say like a Mexican soccer game, where there is nonstop, constant screaming back and forth, rapid fire yelling. There is nothing like a soccer game to get that nonstop action. I mean, you could try like a tennis game, but love 30 is not going to do the job. You want
Right.
to be a little afraid with these things.
Soccer, maybe baseball. I mean, it is baseball season. I mean, you
Yeah,
could
but
do
there's some quiet times in
baseball.
that there is just nothing. You can also try, I've heard people try Jerry Springer. We've tried some political podcasts, whichever side you're on. There's usually some passion in your voice.
Yeah, yeah.
But she's trying to get some sleep, and you now put one of her number one predators on, blasting in her space, and she can't get any sleep. She might try to tough it out for a single night, but if it happens again the next morning, all right, kids, we are going to a motel. Pack up your stuff. Let's go. I need to get some sleep. And so that is the easiest way. You didn't have to spend any money. You didn't have to, rip her away from her children. You didn't have these babies getting stuck in your walls because they fell and their mother wasn't there to pull them out. Nobody has to be separated, and everybody gets a much better sleep at that point.
And so what would be some signs, obviously lack of sound from the attic. What would be some other signs that like mom and babies have vacated? Because I'm assuming a lot of times people first instinct is to like look in the attic, which I mean, if they're little babies, you don't always see them, which I'm sorry, one of my biggest fears is to like like get up in the attic and you just see like eyes just staring at you. That just anyway, sidetrack. Are there any other ways to
Yes.
tell when they're gone?
Absolutely. I like using colored tissue paper, like from a birthday gift,
Oh, okay.
and tape that over the hole that you found outside. If mom is still coming and going, she'll be breaking through that easily seen piece of easy paper. She'll break through there to get her babies out. And you see a giant hole, you know that she's out at this point. So she'll break out at that point. You can put another piece of solid paper again over the same hole. If she continues breaking through, maybe she just didn't get all of her babies out. After a day or two, when you see that solid paper that hasn't been broken into, you know for sure she is gone, and you can go ahead and do the permanent repairs to close that hole up.
Gotcha. And so, and maybe this dives into stuff that I'm assuming you probably know. What would be some materials that like are safe for, I'll say raccoon safe? Because like I know mice can chew through like metal.
There's a
I'm
lot of,
guessing.
I mean, metal grates also
Okay.
work really well. There's a lot of things that'll work. If you put like a full piece of new wood on there, usually
You're
the
good.
reason that she gets in the first place is because there was already a weakness there.
Yeah.
There was something wrong. In today's builders, there's always something that someone just forgot to put those nails in or something like that. And I always do recommend in the middle of winter, that's your time to go into your attic and make sure that everything is back to normal. You don't see any holes, repair anything you can because the babies don't arrive until spring.
Gotcha. And so I guess same general scenario for if you have, skunks under your house or,
Absolutely.
your
There's a few things
shed.
you can do. Light is something that all of these nocturnal animals don't
Oh,
appreciate. A motion sensing light bulb can do wonders. If, when you go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you wake up, your eyes are adjusted to the dark, and you walk into the bathroom, and then you flip on that light because that's your instinct, and suddenly it feels like you've been punched in the face with light. It's the same with these animals. Their eyesight are adjusted to be in the dark, and every time they walk on that area, they're suddenly punched in the face with light. They can't be sneaky. They're now on display for any predators looking for them. It's not comfortable for them at all. You can use lights pretty easily. If there is a mother raccoon up in your attic and the sound isn't doing it, you can also plug in a lamp up there, and she won't be able to get any sleep either. There's a few other ways we can do this too. There are some that will get an animal who, as long as there aren't babies, cleaning ammonia is one of my favorite tools to use. It works really well. You can get an entire jug of it at the dollar store for $1.25 now.
$1.25. Mhm.
And you take an old sponge, you cut it up into little pieces, the gross one that's on your sink right now that
Oh, yeah.
you should have replaced already.
Yeah.
Cut that up in little pieces, pour the cleaning ammonia on there, and then toss these little tiny scent bombs in all the places where you want these animals to not walk on. Not only does it mess up their sense of smell because it smells so strong to them, but it also resembles a large feline predator in the area, such as a
Mm.
bobcat. So if a bobcat has marked this territory as hers, there is not going to be a skunk or a raccoon who's going to argue with her. They're going to take their babies and get out of there and say, "Thank you very much. You can have the space.
Thank you.
We're exiting." But
Oh,
you don't want to use that next to the babies. Their underdeveloped lungs, really, it can burn
yeah.
their lungs at that point. So only with full adults.
Gotcha. Okay. So we've covered deer, kind of covered skunks, raccoons. I think those are kind of the major ones. Was there any other ones that you kind of wanted to hit on for repellent slash how to send a nice
Foxes are also the same way
eviction
too.
notice?
Foxes generally like to create burrows, and nowadays people under their porches and under their stairs makes a perfect burrow that they didn't have to do any work to. And so if they end up under your porch, they can use the same methods. These are all nocturnal animals, and it helps quite a bit. The same methods work.
Okay. Well, good. We got a arsenal. Like I never thought about like the ammonia on like the old sponge that I don't know how
Mhm.
often you're supposed to replace your kitchen sponge, but I can guarantee I don't replace it frequently enough. I can tell you that right now.
So
Um,
funny
The
because
nice
we
thing
we
is,
finally replaced ours last night.
that's funny.
That's funny. I'm like, oh.
yeah, the nice thing is if it rains, because these sponge pieces might be outside, if it rains and it washes off, you just take what's left of that ammonia, put it in a squirt bottle, and just go squirt these brightly colored pieces. You'll find them very easily.
Perfect. Okay. So, I guess so we kind of talked about with like deer, but it's like with other animals in general, like how do you know when it's time for you to step in and help versus when it's like, okay, like animal just is either one, fine, or two, just I'll say needs a minute and it will be okay on its own. Because like I said, the last thing y'all want, as much as y'all love the animals, you really don't want them,
That's all
ideally.
kinds of stress on the animal. They didn't need to come in. This is when you imagine bringing your newborn baby into the ER, and where, because she had an upset stomach, that is so much scarier for your poor baby. And she's also now around all kinds of germs because this is where all of the sick animals are.
Mhm.
So if we don't need to, mom is always going to be the best call. One of the other things that we like to have is we have flow charts on our website as well. And each of these flow charts will tell you if you're looking at a baby bird on the ground, you follow the flow chart. It says, one, is she feathered? Okay, great. If she doesn't have feathers, that brings you to the next spot. She's still a baby. She needs to be with her mother if at all possible. So the next thing we're going to do is she cold to the touch? Is she lethargic? Or is she making all kinds of noise and begging you for food and jumping all over the place in excitement, seeing that you might give them a treat? That is a toddler wanting to eat dinner now instead of in an hour when it will be ready.
Yeah.
Whereas a baby who is cold to the touch, lethargic, and isn't even noticing you standing next to him, that might be a baby who hasn't been to bed in quite a while. She's out of energy and she needs help at that point. So we have flowcharts on almost all of the animals in the area, especially the ones we get most commonly. So you can always follow these flowcharts, especially if we are not answer the phone because we get hundreds of calls every day. So we have that information. We also have it all up over our website. So there's always kind of information as well there too.
And I think Carly's going to put a lot of that stuff down in the comment section so y'all can easily like access all of those flow charts and everything that Lacey just talked about. But so just in case like somebody does like they do the flow chart and they're like, yes, I need this animal needs help. Other than
Absolutely.
obviously bringing it to y'all, but in the meantime, say it's like middle of the night, you know, or they can't bring it right now. What do people need to do when they bring the animals in? You'd mentioned food, water, no go.
No
Leave them alone.
food, no water. If they're an adult, you can put like a small amount of water, like maybe in a jar lid, just enough to give them a little bit. But other than that, no food, no water. There's almost nothing you can give an animal, especially one that's been, out away from their mother for quite a while. Almost nothing you can give them that's in your kitchen sink. And don't go to a pet store. Those are meant for pets. They're not meant for certain wildlife. And each one has their own dietary requirements and things like that. So the best thing to do is warm, dark, and quiet. You want to put them in a place, in a secure container with some air holes. You'd be surprised at how people forget the air.
That is vital to survival.
How many times somebody has brought me a baby bird in like a Rubbermaid container, completely sealed, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh no.
But the best place in your house, most people would think to put an animal would be in the bathroom. But bathrooms are cold, they're echoey, and you go in and out of them all night long. The best place in your house is actually the linen closet
I was gonna say a
because
closet.
it's dark, it's quiet. People don't go in and out of the linen closet very often, change your sheets or grab a towel occasionally. But all that fabric is insulating for both temperature, and also it'll make sure that the sound isn't getting to the baby during that time period. And so it will be open at 7 a.m. in the morning. Go ahead and call our hotline or bring them on in.
Okay, so pretty easy. So dark, quiet, and warm. And that's
Yeah,
it. No,
absolutely.
no water, no food, because they will be okay till they get to y'all where y'all know
Yes.
what their dietary restrictions
And
are.
if the animal is old enough to eat on their own and make that choice, it's a little bit easier, but never ever place water or any kind of liquid into a baby's mouth. Most of them will breathe in that formula or water instead of drinking it because, most part, baby birds don't eat or don't drink water. They get already wet food given to them by their parents.
Yes.
So they're not expecting to have to drink liquids. And so they will absolutely bring that in. And then you have a bird who has drowned when you were just trying to give them
Sure.
some hydration.
And I think I think it's pretty well true of just about every baby species at that stage of their life. They really don't, very few actually need what we call standing water, like a water dish, because it's like human babies, you're not supposed to give them water till they're like a year old, because they get all of the water that they need from either the formula or the milk from
Absolutely.
mom. So it's one of those things where, like you said, you think of what we need, and it's like it's not.
Same.
Yeah.
And also all of these possible replacements, they're all expensive. And the moment you bring them into us, we have our own formulas. So don't go out there and spend tons of money on something that's not in their best interest anyway. Just bring them to us. We have it there.
Yep. So I guess, so y'all are obviously not the only, as much as y'all again would love all of the animals in the world, you have your limited resources. So if somebody, and San Antonio is not always the closest, Candalia is not always the closest location for people. So where can
Absolutely.
people go to find a rehabber close to them? Because they may have one in their town.
Absolutely. So Texas Park and Wildlife is the one who gives the licenses to licensed rehabbers. Please don't take them to just the person who has done this once before when they were kids. Um, all the licensed rehabbers are on the website of Texas Park and Wildlife. And so all you have to do is look by county and it'll tell you every person in your county and which animals they take in, their phone number, their address, all of their information is right there at your fingertips.
And I think the one thing that's very important is like Lacey said, is y'all have licenses, because technically speaking, it is illegal to possess
Absolutely.
pretty much, with the few exceptions of, exotics or invasive species here, all native wildlife is illegal to be in your possession.
Absolutely. And we are always here, especially if somebody didn't know this and oh no, I've had a baby squirrel in my house for the last 3 months. Bring him on in. It's better to get him through there. And also we do quite a bit in rewilding the animals when they're ready to go back out. So that baby squirrel that you've grown up, that you may have fed this entire time, he doesn't know how to be a squirrel. So the beauty is we have a lot of wild squirrels that are going through rehabilitation for other reasons, like they were injured, they're adults, etc. And they teach the others of their kind how to be a squirrel.
How to squirrel, basically. Squirrel
Exactly.
101.
Absolutely.
I guess Carly, did you have anything else before we kind of wrap up here?
No, I learned so much and I was sitting here taking notes a little bit too.
I saw you like jotting stuff down. I was like, Carly's taking studious notes.
I'm like, they're gonna think I'm
And
on
the
my
nice
phone or
thing
something.
is, especially if there's a large organization or something like that, we do have myself and others, we'll go out and do presentations as well. So
Oh,
if you need more, if someone needs more, go ahead, contact us. And we're always happy to do that.
And so how do people like go about, because obviously y'all are 501c3, correct?
Yes, we
So
are absolutely.
y'all run off of donations, and I think I think it's true, like a good chunk of wildlife rehabbers it is all donations or their own
Yes,
fund.
exactly. Either you are independently wealthy or you are a 501c, because you cannot have a for-profit rehabber. You won't get a license for that.
Okay. I didn't know that. It makes sense, but I did not know
Yes.
that.
You also can't be a breeder or selling animals or any of these things. We want to make sure that the wild animals stay wild. This is a precious resource. I originally came from California, and in the middle of I'm a refugee, please accept me. I came from, the concrete jungle, and growing up, we might see a lizard or a bird here and there, other than maybe the whisper of a coyote. That was it. I never saw skunks, raccoons, any of these animals who should be everywhere. And Texas is glorious that we still have these animals. And the more we build and the more we spread out, the less places that these animals have to go. So taking care of the animals that we currently have and making sure that we all learn how to coexist together is so important.
And so how do people go about supporting your organization to help out? Because people always willing to help.
Yes.
And I know y'all are always looking for
Absolutely.
help.
We can't do any of this without the public, without donations. We don't get any money whatsoever from any government organization. It is all donations. And so this is of course very expensive, and have this amazing organization that's been around for almost 50 years. And that's really the only reason why we are so big, is because we started early. um, and even then, every food that we give, every blanket that comes in, all of this comes from donations, and we absolutely need it. So of course, money is always wonderful. We can get better deals, we get tax exempt, things like that. So if you can donate funds, it's always incredibly appreciated. We go through all kinds of things to make sure that we get the very best for the animals, but at the lowest price. And then in addition to that, if you have things to donate too, if you have a linen closet that has a bunch of twin size sheets and you no longer have a twin size bed, the animals absolutely need that all the time. Pillowcases are worth their weight in gold to us. We love pillowcases, towels, flat sheets. All of these things are something that all of our animals need. There is a whole list of those types of things. So even if money is just not, it is a little bit hard in this economy right now. If you can't do money, there's still all kinds of ways. And in addition to that, volunteering is the best way to do this.
I was gonna say, I would argue that nobody has like some towels or sheets that they don't need anymore. I know I'm guilty of that, because you kind of like, you don't want to throw them away.
They become a garage towel.
Yeah, you just don't know what to do with them. So donate them, because
yes, absolutely.
animals always need them.
And pet carriers, the hard-sided pet carriers, we're always looking for those too. If your dog used to be a tiny puppy and now he's a massive Great Dane, and you no longer need that small carrier, an animal absolutely will need that as well. But volunteering is one of the number one things that I always personally, because I train the volunteers, I personally am always looking for. Your time to feed a tiny baby squirrel is more valuable than almost anything else. A baby squirrel holds their little syringe with the little nipple on the end, and they stare you in the eyes as you do it. And it is the most moving experience ever to have that kind of connection with this animal and literally be saving their lives by spending your time. You're stressed out from work, you have issues with your family, whatever it is, you can always come to Wildlife Rescue and take that peace and know that you've done something really good with your time.
And cuddle a baby squirrel.
And that's super cool.
Cuddle.
Yeah.
Feed.
Feed. Okay.
We don't want to scare him by cuddling him. He'll be very concerned of why you're squeezing him like that.
Hand cuddle, hand cradle. Cradle baby squirrel. But okay, Lacey, well, it is 1:00. Is there anything else that you wanted to say that are questions we did not ask before we turn everyone loose?
I just want to say again, if any questions or you're just not sure, that's what our hotline is for. We have amazing people on the hotline that can walk you through almost anything. So anytime you have a weird question, it's not weird. We probably heard it before.
You probably heard it before. All right, everyone.
So much, guys, and I look forward to seeing you again next year, possibly.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, by all means. Yep. So, yep, we'll be back next week. We're gonna do venomous snake ID next week, because again, it is warm outside. So those venomous snakes, I realize we're like a little late on this one because the venomous snakes have been out probably, though it's been unseasonably cool.
Well, and the nice thing is venomous snakes generally want to stay away from you.
Very, very true. Yes, they don't want to waste their energy biting you. They'd much rather use that venom for something else, like food.
Yes.
But yes, so we're gonna do venomous snake ID next week. But want to thank y'all for joining us. Lacey, thank you so much for taking time out of your lunch to come join us today. It's always a pleasure to have you. Yeah, maybe at some point I'll actually make it up to Wildlife Rescue and Rehabilitation and
love to show you around.
Get to volunteer for a little bit. But thank y'all for joining us, and we will see y'all next week. So bye, everyone.
Thank you.